The Fairyland Loop in Bryce Canyon National Park is a hike. It's about 8 miles, and it's away from all the crowds in the main Bryce Amphitheater, taking you down into the hoodoos and all the beautiful rock formations here on a loop that's one of my favorite hikes here in the park. There's a few points to jump into the loop, but the main starting area is Fairyland Point. And I'll show you how to do the hike counterclockwise, which is the way the Park Service recommends doing it, and I also do too because the climb out of the canyon is a little bit easier at the end. To connect the loop, we're going to go from Fairyland Point on the rim trail to the junction of the Fairyland Trail, and then we're going to go down and go around Boat Mesa. And Boat Mesa separates the main Bryce Amphitheater with Fairyland Canyon on the right, and then we're just going to climb up out of Fairyland Canyon back to the start. The trailhead at Fairyland Point is just a short drive from Bryce Canyon City, and just know that the road is generally closed in the winter and it's not really a winter hike. The hike starts from the viewpoint here. If you go up to the viewpoint, obviously you can look down there, but we're going to go to the right, and you can see a sign from the rim trail towards Sunrise Point. That's where we're heading. We're not going all the way to Sunrise Point, but we're going to go about 2.5 miles on the rim trail. You're going to get some nice views down into the hoodoos and all the formations here, a little bit different than the main amphitheater section. And then after a little bit, the trail actually moves away from the edge, and it gives you a little sign to let you know. But we have a little bit of climb, and actually you're going to hit the highest point on the hike on this section here of the rim trail. And when you crest the top of the hill, it's going to be something rare here in Bryce Canyon, that is views. And off to the right, you're going to see into Dixie National Forest, Crow Peak. Then if you turn around and look behind you, that's Navajo Mountain all the way in the background. That's over by Lake Powell by the border of Arizona. You're also going to get nice views to Powell Point, Utah. That's not the Grand Canyon. It's a different Powell Point. And then, of course, looking forward, you're going to get some great views into the Bryce Amphitheater, the main section of Bryce Canyon National Park. After that main climb, we have a little bit of a downhill here, and some of the views into the amphitheater here, which isn't often seen because it's a little bit off the beaten path, are really neat and really spectacular as we continue. Now, on the right, there's going to be turnoffs for the North Campground. There's going to be like a few of these. If you need to go to the bathroom or bail out, that's the place to do it. You can just go straight as well. We're basically going to go 2.5 miles until we get to the junction of the Fairyland Trail, and it's right here. If we go straight, we go to Sunrise Point. But instead, we're going to make the left-hand turn and start on the Fairyland Trail. You can see here, Fairyland Point, 5.5 miles. So that's the full loop. Plus this 2.5 would be 8. Now, after that, a little bit of work that we did on the rim trail, we're going to have a nice, long, cruisy downhill here. Now, this descent is one of my favorite parts here. It's number one, it's long. It's not too steep, so you can kind of cruise down it. That's Boat Mesa over on the left. That's the thing that we'll be going around. Just keep your eyes open. There's a little switchback like this. You're going to want to look for the trail. There's probably some unofficial trails here, but in general, it's pretty easy to follow as you descend here. And as you get down deeper, the rock formations, the colors, everything just gets a little bit more spectacular. Eventually, you descend enough, you're going to see some trees in the distance there, and we're going to go into the trees here and follow the wash down a little bit. The trail is going to go over the wash once or twice, and about halfway through, about 4 miles in, you're going to come to this little junction. There's a little trail, it's a little bit longer, I think, than 200 yards down to Tower Bridge, a little viewpoint. We're going to go down there and check Tower Bridge out. After a short while, look up to the right and you will see the rock formation that looks like the Tower Bridge in London. So check it out. This is also a good place to kind of fuel up and rehydrate. It's shaded here. Then we're going to head back to the junction where we just were, make the right, and continue on the Fairyland Trail. And here you can see 4 more miles. We're about halfway through at this point. As we climb up from that junction, if you look down, you'll see Tower Bridge there down to the left. But we have a little bit of a climb here. There's a little mini climb, but it is beautiful. It is absolutely spectacular. You can see the trail unfolding in front of us there. We're basically going around Boat Mesa here. We're getting kind of close to Boat Mesa, seeing all of the different formations here and climbing up. And it's pretty gradual. It's spectacular, and one of my favorite parts. You can see some arches in there, hoodoos being formed. And as we crest the top of this hill, there's some beautiful views over to Fairyland Canyon. That formation in front of us is called the Sinking Ship. Pretty neat. Then from here, we have a descent into Fairyland Canyon from around Boat Mesa. We're on the other side of Boat Mesa, going down into Fairyland Canyon before we do our last climb back up to Fairyland Point. And a big thank you to everyone on Patreon and everyone who supports me on the site and allows me to create these free hiking guides for everyone. I couldn't do it without your help, so thank you so much. Now at the bottom of that descent, we have a couple little ups and downs, beautiful scenery as usual, lots to see here. And then with about a mile to go, we start the ascent out of the canyon in earnest, and it's a steady uphill grade as we go here. There are some really spectacular spots here as we get close to the top. You know, you're going to be basically hiking through the hoodoos. And then eventually around 8 miles, you will reach Fairyland Point, and that closes the whole loop. If you want to bring this hike with you, you can print it out. You can save it to your phone. I have a website that has all these directions as well. Just search for Hiking Guy, Bryce Canyon hiking trails, and you will find it along with a lot of other hikes that you can do here in Bryce. There's obviously a lot of great trails here. It's just beautiful all over the place. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for everyone who supports this channel. It makes guides like this possible. Stay safe, and I will see you out on the trails.